Italiani e Italiane, Italian men and Italian women, in Italy and abroad. Welcome to this historical moment where I, Mussolini, will play one of the many, I hope, video games in Italian video balocchi, which are centered on the history of the Second World War. A war that created a world, the so-called New World Order, which is today an old world order, given that a series of events is destroying the old world in order to create the new one. A process that started long ago and that has been accelerated by the great President of the United States of America. That is to say, Donaldo Trompetta, come lo chiamiamo in Italia. Donaldo Trompetta. Translated in English, Donaldo Trompetta. In any case, today we're going to play one of the many episodes of this fabulous video game titled Sniper Elite Version 2. A game that takes place in the Berlin of the Second World War, and exactly in the month of April. We're going to recall some of the events that are centered around the famous Battle of Berlin, which, I remind you, is the greatest urban battle of history after Stalingrad. And as a matter of fact, I'm sorry, the earplug is sliding. We cannot allow that, especially during an action game of this caliber. I was saying Stalingrad and these chilling winters here in Italy where the temperature drops to almost 0 degrees remind us in a way of Stalingrad, although that near the river Volga in Russia, the temperature reached even minus 30. But it is Russians and it's their problem. Chi se ne frega, capito? In any case, this stark and strong Italian winter has created a slight lung inflammation, and therefore I will cough at times. But I am lucky because with me I have Ciucciarin coffee, the great Italian coffee. Coffee beans picked up one by one. Try the new blend, the blend Ethiopia Ciucciarin coffee. It is paradise for the palate. It is a flavor you will never forget, which reminds us of a long and glorious past, the past of Italy. In any case, let us continue. So we're going to play this game, and I am ready, as you can see, to accept the challenge of a new game. And what we're going to do is play the first level, that is to say, the prologue. But some things which need to be clarified from the very beginning. I don't know how long the game is going to be, that is to say, this level. I am older than 130 years old. I belong to another generation, and therefore the video balocco, the video game, may be for me difficult at times. It doesn't matter. We will carry on, and each level I will stop for a second just to tell you stories that you may find interesting. The second thing, and I'm gonna stick this inside my eardrums in order to make them explode. The second thing, which is very important, I want to thank my sponsor, Ciucciarin Coffee, as I did before. And at times I also stop for some short commercials, if you will allow that. What is going to happen in this channel? First of all, this is not the main channel of Mussolini, of course, given that Mussolini speaks in Italian, parla italiano, e non quella lingua barbara chiamata lingua inglese, a fantastic language, spoken by my dear friend Winston, who is behind me. Winston is not here today. He's actually the reunion of the Alcoholic Anonymous. And but we will participate. You never know. Maybe we'll participate in the future. Yes, we will make us a surprise. And also we want to draw some parallels as we go through this historical voyage with what is happening nowadays in the world, and in particular, I dare say, in the United States of America, given that the American empire is crumbling, destroying the world created after the Second World War, thanks to the great contribution of Emperor Caligula Minor himself, that is to say, Donaldo Trompetta. I'm saying minor because, of course, there is a senior Caligula, the great Emperor Caligula, who ruled Rome and died, if I'm not mistaken, around 47 AD. And the question arises, will the Caligula Minor, I'm saying minor, not junior, because even junior would give importance to what is, in a way, a phenomenon, as I said before, this crumbling American empire. And I'm saying, will the Caligula Minor be even crazier than the Caligula Senior? That is the question. We know that our old world is dying. The new world is taking place. And it is in that area of darkness between the two that the monsters can arise. But anyway, let us play the game and let us entertain ourselves for a second, and then I will stop from time to time. Now, the audio is on. We're ready. And we're gonna play a new game, Sniper Elite version 2. We're speaking about the month of April 1945. Let us see what is happening. Let us begin the game without any further ado.
Hitler's war machine,
Hitler's war machine,
was now in the retreat.
Why?
The Allies in the west and Russia in the east were squeezing the tattered remnants.
As you can see, the Allies on the west, the arrow is a small one.
Germany's last hope lay in their wonder weapons.
Ah, the wonder weapon, the fabulous Wunderwaffen.
A huge leap forward in the history of military technology.
You see that missile? It's a beautiful German missile.
A new form of warfare. Inhuman. Faster than the speed of sound, it struck without warning.
Great.
The Nazis launched over 3,000 rockets in a desperate attempt to reverse history. It was a terror weapon, pummeling Antwerp, Paris, and London. After the D-Day landings,
the D-Day landing, we're going to speak about that.
Pushed back out of range of England.
Yes, yes.
But already, the Allies were looking to the future, to the next war. The Americans were gathering up the best of Germany's rocket scientists in the top-secret Operation Overcast. Many of the architects of the V-2 program had already been acquired, but not all. With Berlin encircled, Germany's last-ditch defense falling back block by block, and total defeat only days away. Those scientists remaining in the city would soon be in Russian hands.
By the way, that's a Russian soldier, it's not an American GI.
To make sure that didn't happen.
Sniper Elite! I'm so excited. Oh! Wow, I'm shivering. Great.
Major General Hans von Eisenberg was negotiating in secret for safe passage for his team. 5 of the V2 program's top men. He was meeting his Russian handler at the Brandenburg Gate. This was my chance to take him out before he could seal the deal. I was prepared, focused
and confident. Yeah.
Little did I know, yes, it would turn out to be the most difficult mission I'd ever undertaken.
So, we are in Berlin. Now, let us remind us what happened in Berlin. The 16th of April 1945, the Russian army crosses the River Oder at the head of 3 different armies: General Zhukov, General Rokossovsky, and General Konev, leading the 1st Belarusian, the 2nd Belarusian, and the 1st Ukrainian army. We're speaking about 2.5 million men, 6,250 panzers, 40,000 artillery pieces, about 9,000 airplanes on one side, the Russian side, and on the other side, dall'altra parte, 100,000 German soldiers, not only German as we shall see, but soldiers from all over Europe, Estonia, Norway, Finland, even France. And we're going to speak about the great Charlemagne division as we progress with the video game. Russians were fighting alongside the Germans, the so-called Hiwis. 100,000 soldiers, just with a few panzers, German panzers though, ready to fight until the death. And in the middle, a single American soldier. The protagonist of this story. And no, perché, as you can see, Americans are very modest. So on one side we got 2.5 million Russians, on the other side 100,000 German soldiers, and in the middle 1 American soldier, which is kind of bizarre if you consider the fact that nowadays Americans are very good at bombing people from the air, but when there is time to put the boots on the ground, they tend to be shy, they tend to be timid, they retreat. As we have seen in Venezuela and in many other areas. Not to speak about Greenland, which is the protagonist of probably the final stage, or the first phase of the crumbling of the American empire. And look at the finger, which is very important in any case. Anyway, 16th of April, the Russians cross the River Oder and head towards Berlin. General Zhukov will find a lot of problems, whereas General Konev will push from the south. And here we are. We got the Major General Hans von Eisenberg. What a beautiful name, I must say. A sexy name. Who was negotiating in secret the passage of his team, a group of scientists that were working on the V2 project. Now, the Germans are fantastic engineers, and their only match is, of course, the Russians. Therefore, this Russian and German meeting could have signified the opening of a new front of what was going to be a new war, the Cold War. But in any case, let us play the game, and let's see what happens. The Brandenburg Gate, Berlin. Was für eine Stadt? Sorry. Slipping that. German. Oh, a nice German officer. I don't like the boots, they're dirty.
Punctual and made no effort to hide his ugly face.
Beautiful face, I must say.
Neither did his Russian contact.
The Russian contact. Oh, I just say it in Russian. The Russian contact.
I had a clear shot. The slightest pressure on the trigger, and it was good night, Major General. Just a question of choosing my moment. The square was well sheltered, so there was no wind to worry about. I had to aim one notch above the target to compensate for bullet drop. I controlled my breathing.
Let us aim for a second. And that's a kill. Now, it is very important. In this game, unfortunately, I will have to eliminate fellow Germans, and that will create probably a guilt complex, un complesso di colpa. It is something I regret. And already having shot the first German, I feel a sting of pain. The guilt complex may increase during the game, therefore I must use a mental gimmick or a mental trick in order not to get confused any longer and take away the fog, which may blind my vision and therefore my aim, given the fact that I am one single American sniper between 2.5 million Russian soldiers and 100,000 German soldiers. E che cavolo, in any case. Therefore, what I will do, I will imagine, and I invite you to imagine with me, that the German soldiers, the fellow German soldiers I will meet along my way, are nothing more than bureaucrats of the European Union. And using this mental trick, I will be able to eliminate the scores of soldiers that I will meet along my way without any sense of guilt. I must say I will even have a slight sting of pleasure, a sinister pleasure, which I cannot explain, but in any case, we're going to speak also about the new party that I'm leading, the Italian National Fertility Party, and so on and so forth. But let us continue with the game. So back to the game. Let us resume. So we killed the American. Oh, sorry, the American. As you can see, it's already working, the mental gimmick. We actually killed the German, but that's all right. If I die, then maybe the American will die. I'm sure the people of Canada will be happy if that happens. Oh my goodness! That was a fantastic hit. Shooting, shooting, shooting. Everybody's shooting. I think I can even leave this place. Tell you what. I'm just gonna leave this place for a second. It's too busy. And move here. Much nicer. Here it is. Some other soldiers. Clicking the aim. Incapacitation. Incapacitation. So we got the European bureaucrats, which is incapacitated. It was incapacitated before. And here it is. Hilfe, Hilfe, help, help. Good, good. Molto bene. Continuiamo. Andiamo giù. Facciamo le scale. Gonna jump this way. Searching the body. I know it is quite gross, but what can I say? Searching this body as well. We have a fantastic Panzerfaust. So beautiful. I see a yellow dot over there, which means I have to go here. Molto bene. Very good. As you can see, I was able to go behind the Panzerfaust. Probably a Tiger Faust. We don't know. But let us say that the Battle of Berlin was still a battle of tanks. On one side, the dangerous T-34 Russian tanks, and on the other side, the few German tanks which were available. And as I said before, 3 Russian generals were rapidly advancing towards the city center. The 20th of April is the birthday of Adolf Hitler, who is waiting for the Russians inside his bunker. And everybody is singing happy birthday to the Führer. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, tanti auguri Adolfo, tanti auguri a te. So let us imagine we're on the 20th of April. Adolf is celebrating his birthday, and one American soldier is inside the city of Berlin trying to stop a bunch of scientists making a deal with the Russians. It is at the beginning of the so-called Cold War. But let us continue and let's see what happens. Oops, I see a truck there. Let me see what we got here. We got a landmine. Good, very useful. Landmine here. Ready for my friends. Find da drüben! The enemy over there! For the people that don't speak German. See what happens? Here they come. Here it is. Molto bene, very good. Oops. I stepped on the mine. Reloading the Thompson. And searching the corpses. Which is kind of gross. And I don't have any gloves, but still. Mine, good. Checking if there are enemy snipers. I see a yellow dot over there. I run. E corro. Corro forte. And there are some snipers there. Oops. Molto bene! The European bureaucrat has been eliminated. Oops. Use some protection there. Beautiful shot. And the music has finished. And we've discovered something together. When the music is finished, the enemies, that is to say the European bureaucrats, are all dead. This is something which will be necessary to remember as we progress with the game. But anyway, let us for a second speak about General Rokossovsky. Of all the generals, and I'm speaking about the Russian generals, once again, Zhukov, Rokossovsky, and Konev, Rokossovsky for me represents the most intrigue in general, given the fact that Rokossovsky, who will participate in the Battle of Stalingrad and later also in the Battle of Kursk, the greatest tank battle of the Second World War. Rokossovsky was not fully Russian, but he was half Russian and half Polish. As a matter of fact, Stalin did not trust him. And Stalin, who liked men and liked flowers, at one point decided to incarcerate Rokossovsky during one of his purges in the, if I'm not mistaken, 1930s, and in particular 1938, but I may be mistaken, and after 130 years, unfortunately, the memory slips. I was saying Rokossovsky was incarcerated, Rokossovsky who had studied with General Zhukov and who participated in the Russian Civil War, fighting alongside the Bolsheviks. Rokossovsky who had his fingers fractured by the people obeying Beria, another Georgian, who was in charge of the Russian secret police, of NKVD. Rokossovsky, who was then put on trial, and for whom 2 fake executions were organized in order to make him confess, but Rokossovsky never confessed, and it was later freed after the Germans, in June 1941, initiated Operation Barbarossa. So as you can see, a person who is half Russian and half Polish but fought for the Soviet Union, gaining the rank of Marshal General of the Soviet Union, a hero, Rokossovsky, who then ruled Poland after the end of the Second World War. All right. So let us continue. And let us resume the game. So we're here. I don't know where I have to go. And we see open field over here. Molto bene, very good. I think I got the snipe over that. Ciao ciao, stammi bene. Somebody else is shooting. Everybody is shooting here. È andato. Perfect shot. There's another person. The music, and therefore there are enemies che mi stanno sparando. They're actually shooting at me. Oh, I see a tank. That's pretty good. That was a gas tank. And the music is over. Therefore, I think all the... I'm sorry, I'm saying this also with a touch of sadness, all the German soldiers are dead. But I'm thinking they are European bureaucrats, and therefore, at the same time, I feel happy. It is a confusing sentiment of happiness and sadness, tristezza e allegria. But let us continue and let's see what is going to happen. So, I think I can jump here. I shall jump.
Von Eisenberg was dead. I was committed now. Both the Russians and Germans would know I was in play. 4 to go.
4 to go. So we've finished the first level. We told the story of Rokossovsky. This streaming ends here for today. But we're going to continue with the next levels. And as a matter of fact, I will continue with the next level probably right away. Just taking a break for 5 minutes. And I'll see you on yet another streaming where we'll discover the different events that shaped the Battle of Berlin and the Second World War. Events that a lot of people have forgotten. And events that are now far away on the horizon as the American Empire is crumbling. We're going to speak about that as well in the next stream in 5 minutes. And the new world order is emerging beyond the horizon. And, as I said before, when the old word dies and the new word emerges in the shadows, in that area of darkness, new monsters may arise. And that is one of the reasons we're playing this and other beautiful games. To all of you, thank you very much. I'll see you in 5 minutes in the next stream. And let me say from the bottom of my heart, Viva l'Italia!